I happened to see an ad for a free pressure washer, and the weird thing about it was that I recognized the address, and that's because I've been there multiple times before. I call them repeat givers, and I use that term in a good way. This time they've outdone themselves. When I drove the 20 minutes there, this was sitting at the end of their long gravel driveway. What's up, everyone, and thank you for stopping by. Today's project is this Karcher pressure washer, and the problem is that I don't know anything about it because I just picked it up. Now, when I picked it up, it did have some fresh gasoline in it, and the reason I know it was fresh was because I had to lay it on its back and some of it spilled out in the car, so I got to smell that all the way home. But before we take a look at this pressure washer and try to fix it, I want to give it a good cleaning. That way we don't get dirt in places where it's not supposed to be, like in the fuel tank or the carb. Now, while I clean this thing, I'm going to talk about how I find such great machines on these free sites and some of the issues I've had to deal with. That way, if you're interested in doing what I do, this will help you get started. Now, for those of you who don't want to watch this part of the repair, which is the cleaning of this machine, and depending upon when it was released, I might have already released the actual repair video, so look for a link at the top of the screen, in the body of the description, or scroll to the end of this video to find a link to it. The first thing I want to talk about are the websites I use to find these free items. I don't typically mention the names of these sites because I'm not paid to do so, and these sites are so enormous they don't need people to advertise for them. All you need to do is search for free stuff in my area on any search engine, and you should be able to see the sites that I use. Now, one website is so full of ads, it's hard to tell which ads are real or sponsored content, and that's in their free section. That's not in their lawn and garden section. Now, after wading through all the fake ads, you might find one or two legitimate ads, but by then, the ads will have been posted for hours and all the stuff will be long gone, so just be prepared to be a bit overwhelmed the first time you look at them. Now, once you find a decent ad, the first thing you want to do is look at the details and see if it's too good to be true. If it's an expensive item they're trying to give away for free and they want you to call or text them, be very careful because it might be a scam or a fake ad that's trying to ruin your day. I don't know why someone would make a fake ad, but it happens quite often. Now, the scammers, I know what they're trying to do. They want your phone number so they can get your information. It's sad to say, but if you're desperate enough to go for their fake ad, then they'll try to persuade you to buy something on a website to obtain your financial information. Now, the other site I use doesn't have sponsored ads, but there are still some fake ads on it that you have to sort through, but this is the one I use most often. I would suggest using the web versions of either sites because I find the app version too slow to refresh. So why is that important? Well, the answer is you have to be quick when responding to free items on the curb. The sooner you see the ad, the better chance you have of picking it up. Now, for example, if you see an ad that's been up for 30 minutes and the item is across town, by the time you get there, the posting might have been up for over an hour, and in my area, the chances that you'll get it are pretty slim. However, if you see the ad 15 minutes after posting, you'll get a better chance of picking it up than if you were to see it at 30 minutes. Now, when I was using the app, the earliest I would ever see an ad posted was 20 minutes and nothing sooner. However, when I started using the web version, I could see items listed minutes after posting. As long as the item was less than 30 minutes away, my chances were pretty good that I'd pick it up. But you've got to get a move on or else you'll miss it. For example, it was nighttime and I was getting ready for bed in my PJs when I checked the free section and saw a free Honda mower 20 minutes away. Needless to say, you probably know what happened next. Now, I'm going to let you know you're not the only person looking at the free section. I have shown up several times only to find someone else loading up what I drove 20 minutes for. I've also shown up where there have been multiple cars loading up stuff from a house that was being moved out of. There are also certain times when most of the good stuff is being given away. For my area, 5 to 7 p.m. is the best time. Anytime on Saturday and right after 12 o'clock on Sundays. Now, just be aware these times might be different in your area. Now, once you find a good free ad, you can still run into some other issues. Just recently, I saw an ad for a free string trimmer and it was located at an office supply store. The ad did a very poor job describing exactly where it was located at, but it turns out they dropped it off behind the business near the dumpster, which they didn't mention that part. Now, sometimes the person giving away free items doesn't want their address to be posted on a free website, which is quite understandable. So sometimes you'll see an ad that does not have an address, but the intersection of two roads, which can make finding the location very challenging. What I typically do is look at the pictures and see if I can see anything in the background that would help me identify its location. I'll then use a website that has a street view of the area, and this will help me confirm that the location I'm seeing matches what I'm seeing in the pics of the free items. Now, most often you will see an address, and that makes the locations easier to find. Now, that's the biggest reason why I don't film when I get to the locations. I've been accused several times of these ads not being real. The reason I do this is for the sake of privacy for the people who are kind enough to give these items away. The last thing is for these people to see their house in a video that might show something they don't want broadcasted for everyone to see. The next issue you could run into is that the item being given away isn't on the curb but is on a first come first served basis, meaning you have to contact them by sending them a message, calling them, or texting them. Hopefully you're the first one to contact them, otherwise you'll be put on a list, and then you're hoping the people in front of you will pass on the opportunity. Now these are the hardest ones for me because my luck isn't really that good. Now the next issue is a personal one, and it's when I have to talk to the people who are giving the items away. Like I've mentioned before, I don't like getting information from the previous owners because I'd rather find out for myself. The other issue is that they could give you bad information that could make discovering the real problem a little bit more challenging. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but I want to see the problem firsthand and not as secondhand information. Now, when I saw the ad for this pressure washer, I don't recall them mentioning what was wrong with it, and they didn't make any claims that it even worked. It just said it was at the edge of the driveway by the street, and that's the way I like it. Now, will I pass on a free mower where they tell me every single thing they can about it? No, of course not. I'm still going to try and pick it up and fix it if I can. Now, typically, I wouldn't wipe down the things I'm cleaning, and I'm not sure why I'm doing it in this video, but the only thing I could assume is that I didn't have time to wait for the water to dry off. Now, if you do wipe the machine down after the final rinse, it'll help you see any areas that you might have missed, and you'll still have a chance to clean those areas. However, if you waited till the water dried off and then noticed the spots you missed, you'll have to get the machine wet yet again. The only other piece of advice I can give to someone who wants to start picking stuff up to fix is that you don't need a truck to start. I would suggest using some sort of van, SUV, or hatchback though. The reason is for ease of loading of these machines you find. Now, if all you have is a sedan or a two-door coupe, that's fine too, but you'll soon realize that you might not be able to load some mowers in it, and you'll have to leave them hanging out of the back of your trunk. Now, when I first started doing this, all I had was a tiny four-door sedan, and this was restricting what I was able to pick up, but I still did well for myself considering my limitation. But as soon as I got a hatchback, that was a huge improvement for me. Now, would I ever get a pickup truck? Yes and no. I don't want to deal with the poor fuel economy that most trucks have, so I'd rather get a small truck with a small engine. The other reason is that the load height for the larger trucks is too high, but the smaller trucks are a lot lower to the ground and are easier to load. I hope you enjoyed watching me clean this pressure washer and share my experiences when it comes to picking up free items to fix. I do plan on doing more videos like this one, so if you have any specific questions, please don't be afraid to ask, and I'll answer them either in the comments, in email, or in a video like this one. If you don't like these types of videos, then wait for the next video because more than likely it'll be a repair video. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions, and I hope to see you in the next video.